about more than anything, I'm concerned about the grandfather, because I felt that that was always going to be an issue. But this documentation for this supplement, what we have to analyze is what part of this affects grandfathering and what was not. What I have a whole problem with this whole thing, and why I have to do some research, is, you know, why would you accept something on the first well, and now you're coming back and saying we won't make changes to it? So that's why I have to look at the grandfathering. Because I'm of the belief that if you were getting $15, 1,000 cubic feet for your gas, some of these may not be an issue right now, because it's a point of economics for Chesapeake, as well as maybe some economics for the city. I would also like Belchef and Associates to give their analysis of this, so we can see from some experts, because when we were doing this whole process at the beginning, it was new to the citizens of Lakeside, it was new to the council, and there was just a lot of information that we had to decipher and try to make decisions on. Now that we understand a little bit more now, we need to look at each one of things of concern, and I'm just kind of talking off the top of my head now, is that like the water sampling. You know, no evidence exists of water well contaminations resulting from Barnett Shale natural gas production. Well, sure, I mean, but if there was evidence, we probably would not have let you drill in the first place. So, you know, one of the reasons for water sampling, whether it's 300 feet or it's 2,000 feet, is to protect us for potential disasters. Mandating the enclosures of compressors in a permanent structure can impact performance of compressor and prolonged site activity. Well, I mean, is this something that you just decided between when we had the ordinance and now? Why was this not brought up at that point in time? Is that part of the grandfather? It's those kind of things that I want to investigate. I appreciate everything that you're doing, but it just brings up a lot of questions that we have to just research.
Sure, and kind of the purpose of this initial presentation, you know, was to generate these questions and to provide some understanding and education on, you know, why we're looking at these revisions or how it could benefit Lakeside and Chesapeake overall. And you know, when we submitted our permits, when we were developing our plan to drill, it was under the 2008 ordinance. And you know, there are items in all ordinances. If we could have a perfect model ordinance, you know, there's things that we would probably change in all ordinances. And whenever Lakeside expressed the opportunity to open your all's gas drilling ordinance, you know, we took the opportunity to say, okay, there's some issues here that we can work with the town and kind of walk through and help you all understand that could provide a better environment for drilling for Chesapeake. Yes, you know, it's a business, but also for the town and for the mineral owners here. And so now having this opportunity, it's you know, we want to have the conversations, we want to answer your questions, and it can be, at first glance, it can be confusing and seem, you know, pretty overwhelming, but you know, as we walk through it, you know, want to be that resource to help understand grandfathering, and you know, there's no evidence for water sampling, but you know, continue that conversation. And if you have specific questions, again, you know, on water sampling and the 300-foot versus the 2,000-foot, you know, I can do my best to answer, but I look to our experts, and that's why, one reason why I have Brian here tonight. He can explain the zone of influence and the way that the land is oriented out here, and why if there's wells that are northwest of the site, you know, drainage is southwest or southeast over in Lakeside. And so those are less likely to be influenced by anything that would go wrong on the site. You know, so it's just focusing, having a better idea of you know, all aspects of what we're doing out here. And, you know, and kind of creating an ordinance that focuses better on that rather than something very general.
Well, you kind of opened up an issue there, you know, maybe part of the discovery process of what we want to put into a revision to the ordinance or whatever is maybe if a water well is located 300 feet, within 300 feet northwest of the drill site, that might be all right. But if it's located downstream, maybe you want it somewhere else. So I don't know.